I guess that's as good as it's going to get. At least I don't have to wear my reading glasses. Oh, this I have to do on the phone. All right. Oh, man, yikes. I shouldn't be drinking this late. That's a surefire sign that I lost a ton of weight and I'm getting older. Look at my chicken neck. I'm looking at myself here on the big screen. It's like, geez, I lost all of that weight. You can see it in my face. My God. Not only that, I shaved off my entire beard. I figure I give myself a mustache like my father always wore. I don't feel comfortable wearing mustaches. It's always been weird for me. I hope you folks are doing okay. I fell asleep earlier. A buddy of mine from New York was calling me. I couldn't even get out of bed. My sleep pattern's so screwed up. I'm going to have to try to reboot myself again. But the sad fact of the matter is that I've got a lot of things in my mind that anybody that's been watching this channel has heard me talk about a lot of things I've been through and things I didn't ask for and the mistreatment of a lot of people against me throughout my life, even recently with what this woman did to me on Valentine's Day with this other ex-girlfriend showing up on YouTube accosting me while meanwhile she was trying to cheat on her husband and then tries to make me to be the bad guy when she made a choice. And like all this stuff, and it's made me think, it's like, you can have all these collectibles, you can have all the baseball cards, you can have the cool sneakers, you can have all that stuff. But honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. You can have all the jerseys, you can have everything. You know who said that sort of thing? Robin Williams, when he was alive, said something like that. That, you can't always be on, you can't always be at the top of your game, you can't always be happy. And as time has gone on, especially after what happened last year with the death of my father, I mean, I was looking at his photo earlier on, and he always had the handlebars, and I'm trying to handlebars, and I don't like wearing a mustache. It's like not my thing. I'm looking at myself on a big screen. I'm like, oh my god, I don't even recognize myself with a mustache. I'm probably gonna end up cutting it off after this live stream, or maybe tomorrow. But my dad understood human nature very well, and to his credit, he was a bit of an isolationist. He chose to lock himself up at home because he knew this world was just impossible. People, especially now, people are impossible. It's like what happened again, like what happened with me on Valentine's Day, what happened with me over the summer last year with a lot of stuff. Look what happened with this girl, what she did to me. You feel isolated and alone. And I've been hiding it a lot. And I think many of you have probably picked up on the fact that I have not been feeling all that happy lately. When I first started this channel, it was all about the hobbies, man. But life has been just very rough. It's been very rough. I'm not saying that I have it bad or anything. I've got it better than most. But just because you have things, that doesn't mean you're happy, you know? I'm not happy. I don't think I've ever known what it is to be truly happy. It's sad to say. When I go outside into that world outside my door, it's a toss up as life would be, like it's supposed to. You can't be afraid to live, but I find so much comfort and solace here in my little one bedroom apartment that I've made sure to live a life of convenience. Not that it's easy, but I still have to feed myself, I still have to pay the bills, I still have to clean. But there's no arguing, there's no fighting, there's no noise, there's no sirens, there's no murder, there's no death. There's none of that stuff. I started collecting again because it just helped me to further escape how awful people really are and how awful human behavior is. I'm not saying that everybody's bad, but over the years, and maybe it's a symptom of me getting older, I don't know. But the older and wiser I get, the more I look out my window and the more I just feel like my dad knew it too when he was alive. He hated living in New York. The only reason I think he stood in New York was because of us, my mother, and his career. Not even a job, his career in the union. But he knew what New York was all about. I mean, there were times, I remember years and years ago when he was feeling good, and he was still up and about, and he was still working. He was working on his own house, which is insane. Like, he tore apart all the plumbing himself. Like, that man, what he did to his house, he was a whole different guy. The man that he was in New York, like it was whenever he was back home in his hometown in Pennsylvania, and he was a mountain man, an Allegheny mountain man, who was used to the woods and used to everybody being courteous and free, and townsfolk knew each other. He grew up in small town USA, and even talking about Pennsylvania, my father's eyes would light up in a way that you would never see my father. It was looking at a different person when he was alive, when he was in Pennsylvania. I never realized how alone he was living in New York until before his health deteriorated, when he was able to travel back to his hometown house where all of our family basically comes from in Pennsylvania. He was a whole different man. And I always knew a part of me was kind of like him. That's why I could never live in New York ever again. And I've made a life for myself here. It's been tough sometimes, but the cost of that. The cost of that is it's really, I've had bouts of depression across my adult life. I've talked about me having post traumatic stress and all this other stuff going on, but the things that have happened in my life are either out of my control or are caused by somebody else. Now, I'm not a narcissist because, yeah, I found myself in trouble a couple times, but all these other things that have happened are just me being a victim of circumstance. And I'll be honest with you, it's made me very afraid to step out of my own front door. That world out there is too dangerous. I let this woman into my life recently, and look what she did. I don't go to bars. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke weed. I try to take care of myself. You could see it in my face. Look at the skin hanging from my chin. That's only because I'm getting older. It's because I take care of myself. That's all that weight that I lost over the years. It shows. But I have a nice, quiet life. A lot of things outside this channel I don't tell you guys. Like there will be days where I won't even turn on the radio or the TV set. I'll just open my door like it is right now. There's not a sound out there. There's no background ambience at all. It's quiet. And the 20 and 30-year-old me had to be at the rock shows and had to be at the clubs and had to be at the bars. And now I'm like, Jesus, that peace and quiet really, really, really puts you in such a serene state of mind that, like, you forget that there's a world outside. It's weird. But the cost of that has taken its toll on me over the years. With everything that's happened, I'm very much by myself. I make my content on this channel. I had a really big sale tonight, as a matter of fact. I actually had a pair of New York. I never got a chance to review it because, quite frankly, I can't find a use for them. My intent was to build a uniform. I did do a New York Giants Eli Manning uniform, top to bottom, many, many years ago, but it's a very expensive venture. Just to get the helmet is like over $1,000, and you have to get the number stickers and this thing and that thing, the shoulder pads. It's just too expensive to do something like that again. So the last pair of New York Giants player pants, football pants, I sold off tonight for about $100 on eBay. And I still have this order over here I yet to get out. And it was raining on and off all day today, and I just didn't feel like going out, and passed out and took this really, really uber long draconian nap and woke up real late. And I can feel I'm going to be up all night, and drinking this Red Bull is not going to help me at all. But the truth of the matter is I've been worn out. I've been worn out for a very, very long time. I feel so worn out that I feel like I'm not compatible with the world outside my door. When you live the nice, quiet life that I live now at this point in my life, with the exception of some of the people that I sit with and some of my neighbors and friends that I sit with, I live a very, very quiet existence. And then once the outside world comes comes across my path, or if I go outside and mix myself up with the outside world, I feel completely out of touch and out of place. And again, like what I talked about, what happened with me on Valentine's Day with this woman. I don't know what I did that was so bad. There are men that would cheat on their women. There'd be men that would care too much about drinking booze. I didn't do that with this woman. I'm here all day, every day. You know what I mean? It's like most women get offended by that they want their men where they can find them. And yet here I am all day, every day. And then I have to deal with a woman cheating on me and the lies that come with that for no reason at all. For absolutely no reason at all. And it's not fair. I'll sit here and I'll watch couples walk by outside. And I'm like, look at that guy. Look at what he looks like. What does he have that I don't? That you got this beautiful, attractive young lady. And then you got me. What did I do? What am I doing that's so damn wrong? I've been really, really questioning myself a lot more than I ever have before at this point in my life, because after 15 months of torture, losing my father, good old Wolf over there passing away after I tried to stop him from hurting himself. And people that used to come on and off my patio don't come here anymore. And then you got to deal with this stuff that goes on around here, which I've completely separated myself from. Well, at least to a point where I feel comfortable enough that I feel, where like if I see certain people, I literally like walk in a different direction just to avoid trouble. You know what I mean? I kind of feel trapped in a way. I can't explain it to any of you. Maybe it's a symptom of me getting older and wiser and just trying to stay away from toxic people, but those words, toxic people, that's more of a cliche these days. But the older I get, the more separated I feel from the real world. Man, when this girl started seeing me, man, I felt happy again. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like a man, like I can wine and dine this girl and hold her hand and do all that stuff that you're supposed to do. And just out of nowhere, seeing her with another man around her on YouTube here, I'm thinking to myself, what did I do? And I got this other ex of mine that found me on YouTube that started berating me, and some of the comment. I mean, she's blocked on the channel now, and she can't message me anymore. And I made a meme about her. Yeah, you were cheating. You were trying to cheat on your husband, and then came here begging me for money, and then you're going to put me down. That's why her dumbass got fucking. Well, she deported herself back to Panama. Serves her right. Fuck her. But you get tired. You get tired of this stuff after a while. You really do. I feel isolated. I feel alone. I can talk about sports cards. I can talk about jerseys and hats all day, all night. But the simple fact of the matter is because of my life experiences and what happened again on Valentine's Day, what this girl Jennifer did, what this girl Jenny did, I didn't deserve that. I did nothing that justifies that, to be cheated on. And to be honest with you, I feel like a target. I feel like I have a bullseye on my back. I don't know what I did that was so wrong. I live a quiet life. I live a peaceful life. I take my time with things. It's like antimatter. When you grow up in New York, you're expected to move and move and move and move. And that's not me anymore. That life is way behind me. I like a nice, slow, quiet life where I come and go as I please. And I'm not beholden to anybody, but once the outside world encroaches onto my life, I feel like I'm by myself and I feel like I'm a target. I've really been contemplating a lot of things that have happened in my life especially in the past 15 months. And it's only recently I have to acknowledge, man, I didn't realize I was feeling this alone by myself. When I came back to this property, man, it was like party central. Not saying that you have to, hang out and drink every single time and eat junk food with your friends and stuff, but it was nice to know that, like, you got buddies here and buddies there and friends here and friends there, and you're around each other all the time, talking, laughing, listening to music, having a couple beers. Sometimes you fight like brothers and what have you, but then 2 days later, you're right back to square one. And it's not like that. It hasn't been like that. I got a buddy of mine that literally lives right there on the third floor. And he used to come here 2 or 3 times a week, doesn't come here anymore. Everybody has to live their lives, sure, but I mean, come on, man. My other buddy that used to live next door, he's been living with his girlfriend. He's doing quite well. He did come and visit me one day a couple weeks ago. He's been trying to get me to promise to go up there in North Charlotte to visit him and his girl, but I just never got around to it, kind of shame on me. But I never really realized like how alone I feel in my life at this point. I can have all of those collectibles up on my shelves. I can have all them Star Trek models up there. I can have all the jerseys in the world and all the sneakers in the world, and it doesn't or it doesn't add up to anything, is what I'm trying to say. You can have all the things in life that you want, but the lack of human contact is probably the worst thing that I'm experiencing right now, because quite frankly, I can't trust anybody. Valentine's Day was the best. I don't know what I did to this woman. For all I know, she's one of the 3 people watching right now. I don't know if Jenny's watching right now. I don't know what I did. And she couldn't care less, because she had to have what she wanted. Like most people do. When people do what was done to me, it's most likely because they didn't get what they wanted. And they don't care who they hurt. I can't treat people like that. Whether people think so or not, and I know who my naysayers are on the internet. I do know what empathy is. But this has been too much, to the point where lately I've been feeling very much isolated and alone. And Valentine's Day put it right over the top. I'm looking at myself with this mustache, and I'm looking at my dad's photo right there. I understand him now more at this point in my life than I ever did, why he chose to isolate himself in the world, because the fucking world is awful, man. It's awful. And people will hurt you. I thought by now I'd have a pretty wife by my side and all this other stuff, and it just hasn't happened. And I'm going to be 50. And as time goes on, I feel more and more alone. Even my mother tried messaging me, and I ignored her because there are things I've been asking her to do that she refuses to do, to try to wipe clean an old stain of blood. And she's the key to it, and she just refuses to see it. But my family have been wanting me to go back to New York. I can have my little eBay business. I can have my collectibles. I can have my jerseys. And it's not enough. These are things. I could rip this shirt right off of my person right now, because this is meaningless compared to this and what's in here. And a lot of the stuff you've been seeing me talking about lately on the channel with these live streams, I know people want to be entertained and they want the shiny thing hanging in front of them like a cat having a ball of yarn, kicking around a ball of yarn. But guess what? I'm just not happy. I am not happy. And the disgusting messages that this woman sent me after Valentine's Day and after what happened a couple nights ago, and I'm not even going to get into that, what happened with me. What could have potentially happened with me. Like, people are just, they got no conscience, they got no feeling, they have no thought, they have no spirit, no soul, no and it's like all people know how to do is just cause each other fucking pain and suffering, man. It's like, God. I'm not talking about like the kind of bullshit that you see out in the street and on the news. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff, but have people really just lost their ability to take the time to look twice at something and say, hey, that person's looking pretty down. Let's go talk to them. Hey, let's take the time. You know, if you have family, you pick up the phone, you call them to see how they're doing. I've never felt this isolated and by myself before. After what this woman did on Valentine's Day to me, and every time something like that happens, it just solidifies my mistrust for the world outside my door. You know, I know that sometimes it sounds like I'm going off the wall with my live streams, just going off on these mindless tirades, but the simple fact of the matter is I feel very much alone and isolated. And I've been feeling like this for a long time. I mean, I've wrestled with depression for most of my adult life, but nothing like this. This is something different. This is something completely different. It's almost frightening in a way because it's like that old school black and white Twilight Zone with Burgess Meredith, where he locks himself up in his safe with a bunch of books and like a nuclear war or something happens, and then he emerges and he comes out and there's nobody on the planet. And he had all the books he can read. Unfortunately, he dropped his glasses and broke his glasses, so he couldn't read his books. But that's kind of like the feeling. I feel like I'm on a deserted island half the time. More than half the time, actually. And it's not a good feeling. When I sit on my patio, it's not happy anymore. Because I might have one of these porch invaders coming up and they see me listening to music. All they care about is trying to suck me dry out of my beer in my refrigerator. They're not there to be a friend. They're just there to get things. And then what happened on Valentine's Day with this girl? Flowers, chocolates, teddy bears, just to find that she cheated on me with another man. That I was going to lose my home because of somebody else's bad behavior when I operated within the boundaries of the law. Everything's all catching up to me. You want to say the walls kind of closed in on me a little bit? Yeah, the world feels a little bit more closed in for me. It feels a lot smaller. That's why you haven't seen me making much regular content here on the channel, because quite frankly, my motivation to do so is gone. It's not fun. I don't feel like I'm having fun making content. Did she ever give you a reason? I still don't have a legitimate reason, but she did send me all these nasty ugly comments. I just got tired of you. Tired of what? We didn't even go out anywhere, to be honest with you. We didn't go to a restaurant. We didn't go to a bar. How could you be tired of someone when we haven't even, we're just getting started? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. My patio is derelict because I'm the only one that sits up on my patio, unless there's some random neighbor that comes up to sit with me. It's not like it was. Have I ever tried a dating site? I won't even bother because they're all fakes. It's all catfishing, and no. It's all fake, phony nonsense. And it's a waste of money because, and I've tried those dating apps in the past, and it's the same thing when you go meet people. Well, I mean, the girl I was with for a year, the one that put me in jail for no reason when my father died, I met her on Badoo. And it's just, people scare me, man. People they do scare me. At this age, people terrify me because of what they're capable of. One minute she's all smiles, and I'm there cooking, laughing, holding hands, kissing like little kids, and then just disappears. I'm like, I got stuff for you here in my home on for Valentine's Day. Come on by. I'll cook. If not, we can go out. And just didn't answer any of my messages, just for me to find out that she has a YouTube channel, and there she is with a guy with his arms wrapped around her. And then out of nowhere, I get bombarded with messages by her. I got tired of you. We really didn't even get that serious yet. Things take time to build. You have to build on things. But like with everybody out there, everybody wants everything now. They want it their way. They want it yesterday. And that's not how it works. Maybe I was raised old school that way, that things take time. It took me a lot of sacrifice and pain and betrayal to get to this. It's not much, but it's mine, and I appreciate every square inch of this apartment. People have become too selfish and too evil. I can have all them collectibles. I can have everything a guy can ask for. I've got everything I need. But that's just material possession. And I look outside and I watch couples hold hands, and I look at the two of them. I'm like, what is he doing? Look at this beautiful young girl. And this dude's walking around holding his crotch, walking like he's got a broken hip. One of the yo-yo G's, like that type of shit. I'm like, so you want the illusion of a hip-hop star instead of, and they'll be the first ones to complain about their men, and they always are. It's just, I can't figure people out. I thought I had a beat on people. Most people are easy to figure out, but I don't know. I sound like I'm contradicting myself. It's just things have become so confusing for me these days. It's becoming harder and harder for me to figure out what to do with a lot of things that have fallen into my lap. To be cheated on for literally doing nothing. You think this woman would even give me one simple logical explanation? It's like what happened. It's like what happened after a year of being with that girl. And just stormed out of here. Refused to talk to me. And I went to go talk to her. And then she tried to have me arrested for literally talking, for sitting in my car doing nothing. And then my father dies when all of this is happening, and all this other stuff that's happened around here. And then I get cheated on Valentine's. It's just so it gets, I'm worn down, man. People close to me who know me know what I've been through, and they probably suspect that there's something going on up here now that is out of place. The simple fact of the matter is, I feel I've wrestled with depression for most of my adult life, and I've, when things go good, they go good, they go really good. Especially when I moved back here. The whole point of me moving back here is because this is where I felt the happiest. All my friends are here. Everybody I know is here. My buddy moves in with his girl. That's fine. He has to live his life. I don't see this guy anymore. He literally lives right there. I don't see him anymore. My was a former friend is a backstabbing, two-faced snake that I want nothing to do with. And then there's other things that go on around here I'm not going to get into. I feel like I'm by myself. And it's making me, and after what happened on Valentine's Day, like it just, I feel very, I'm drained emotionally. That's why I haven't really been making the content like I once did. I'm not making the fun videos and toy reviews and hat reviews and jersey reviews. I tried recently with that FDNY New York Yankees hat and that Germany jersey, but I just, every time, like I'll set up the tripod or I'll set up my gooseneck here and want to sit down and do a review video. I don't have the motivation to do it because I feel like I'm trying to pretend to be happy and I'm trying to pretend to enjoy making a video for everybody, and I just don't have it in me. I feel like a piece of me has died over these past few months. Actually, from the time I left New York up until this point, I feel more and more and more alone and isolated than I ever have before. And it's not a good feeling. And what happened a couple nights ago, because of the depression that I experienced because of this woman cheating on me and abandoning me for no fucking reason. I did nothing. Nothing. And then all of a sudden your brain makes this turn. And you start thinking in a way you don't like to think, that you don't think is possible. And I've been down that road too a couple times in my life. Believe me, it's not pretty. And you start thinking certain ways that people were never meant to think in. You start questioning your faith. You start questioning if there's a God or not. You start wondering who your real friends are. You don't even want to go outside. Like, I got that box that I packed up with the New York Giants pants that I sold on eBay tonight, and I got that card over here I have to pack up and get to the post office. But after that, even trying to get some fresh air, I find no solace going outside. Because my brain starts to wonder, unfortunately, all right, who's going to hurt me? Who's going to hurt me now? Who's going to stab me in the back now? Who's going to make up lies about me now? Who's going to assault me like what happened during the holidays when that piece of shit punched me in my throat for no reason? And the cops wanted to arrest me. And thank God the camera was there, because if it wasn't for that camera that saw everything, when things like that happen again and 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 again, it reaches this point where you start thinking in a way that you're not supposed to be thinking. No person should think that way. It's not even about that I'm looking at the chat over here. It's not even about it's not about the baseball cards. It's not about any of that stuff. It's just behind the scenes, behind the camera, and this is why YouTubers can be so fake and phony. Because believe me, their lives are not as perfect as they appear to be, or they try to pretend like everything is dandy because they got sponsorships. They have to save face and they have to look good. And trust me, a lot of these people are going through all sorts of crazy stuff like I am. I did absolutely nothing to that woman to justify being cheated on Valentine's Day. My heart's smashed to bits because I'm at that age. It's going to get harder and harder and harder for me to get into a relationship, especially as a man these days in today's world. Whether women want to believe it or not, us men have it the hardest out of the two sexes. All a woman has to do is wear high heels, tight blue jeans, and let their hair down, and they got fucking men chasing them left and right. Women don't do that to us. Unless you're a Giga Chad with a pickup truck, you know, and I'm definitely not a Giga Chad. You know, I've accepted, you know, the type of man I am, and I'm not the guy that women chase after. I've accepted it. I look in a mirror, I know what I see. Most people can't admit that. I do. The more and more and more and more that these things happen to me, I feel like another piece of me just died. You know, there's a lot I don't talk about here on camera. Like there are days I don't even get out of bed. I don't even want to get out of bed. I keep my blinds closed on a beautiful day. I'll keep my blinds closed when I should be outside. And I have people here where I live that say, "What? Where you been? We haven't seen you in a couple of days. We know you're always on YouTube talking about stuff. We haven't seen you walk around. What's going on?" Well, this is why. Because there are quite a few people that watch my material here, watching my reviews, watching my deep thinks, my deep dives, like I'm doing now in this live stream, you know, and people will say, "Hey, you feeling all right?" People have told me. I mean, I'm looking at my face right now on the big screen here. I can see my face, how drawn in my face is, and this is after I shaved, and I can see how drawn in my face is. It's depression. Very bad depression. It's the type of depression that you try to hide from everybody. The fake smile, the fake laugh. You try to walk upbeat, you know, like I'll see the maintenance dudes here, and they're all good guys, man. Real funny guys, ball breakers. The one dude comes from New York. I'm not going to name drop, but you know, every time I see him, we talk baseball. We talk the New York Mets, New York Yankees, and all sorts of other. Oh shit! Ah, I knew that was going to happen. You see, it's my nerves. Fuck all over my upper deck checklist cards. Great. Just great. All over those upper deck cards. That's why I should never keep things on my desk. You see that? That's my anxiety. That's because of anxiety. That now I got. Fuck. That's anxiety for you. That's what anxiety does. That's what depression does to a person. My mouse pad soaking wet. My upper deck checklist cards that I pulled out from that box are all soaked. I might as well just throw them all out now. Look at this. They're all soaked. They're gone. They're gone. I'm not even going to save them. They're in the garbage. I'm not even going to bother to try to save them. See, that's anxiety for you. That's my anxiety. That's depression. That's sadness. That's everything. Now, all them upper deck cards I just pulled out. Thank God I didn't have anything super important sitting up here. Never ends, you see? I can't catch a break. Even with this, I can't get a break. I can't get a break. All those upper deck cards that I had that I pulled out the other day, now they're worthless. Not even going to try to save them. I won't even bother. So is my life with everything. Everything with me is a fucking catastrophe. Or heartbreak, or letdowns, or betrayals. I don't even have control of my own home. All them upper deck cards I pulled out the other day are now worthless. I'm not even going to bother trying. And funny that fucking cup flew in that direction. So is the story of my life. This is what depression does to a person, folks. And there are people out there that think it's a joke. I don't think it's funny at all. It is not a joke. After a while, a person gets fed up with feeling so lousy and so miserable. And lately, I've not been happy with a lot of things in my life. I don't care about the clothes. I don't care about the baseball cards. I don't care about the collectibles. I just want people to be fucking decent with me and to stop fucking mistreating me and using me and everything else. The only time people ever come up to my fucking patios when they need something. They don't come up here to keep me company or watch a ball game. They come up here to get something. Every time I try to start a new relationship, it's always something. And they always put the blame on my shoulders. You can be the nicest, sweetest, caring man on the planet. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter at all. Just doesn't matter at all. Nothing matters. Doesn't matter. My mouse pad is soaked. It's not fair, folks. I'm so worn down by betrayals, letdowns, heartbreak, and backstabbing. I've never felt alone like this, the way I do these days. I don't want to even hear people talking about, oh, you should go to therapy. Therapy is nothing more than faith healing. It's bullshit. It's a rent-a-friend. It's just throughout the years, people have been very unfair to me. This girl was unfair to me. What happened here last year was unfair to me, and I'm just tired of being stomped on by the fucking world at large. I've had enough. I can't even have control of my own desk. That's the worst part. Can't even have control of my own desk. Now all those upper deck cards I pulled out of that box are now worthless. Absolutely fucking worthless. All those checklist cards. Some of them are going for like $200 to $300 in a PSA holder are now landfill. There's no saving them. All because I try to get something to drink. So is my life. So is my life. That basically is a metaphor for how my life has turned out at this point. What this other woman fucking Karen sent to me, with her cheating on her trying to cheat on her husband. What the hell is all of this stuff here? Come on, go away. To what this woman did to me on Valentine's. Stay put. I'm gonna go grab me another Red Bull. And I still have to clean my carpet. And I gotta steam clean my carpet. At least my new vacuum is coming tomorrow. I finally got some, at least I got some positive news with that. Since this pot smoking little fucking lesbian piece of shit broke my vacuum the other day. You think she'll pay me back? Or offer to give me some money for the fucking thing? No, of course not. Of course not. So I'm used to being taken advantage of and used. I'm used to people not giving a shit. What is going on with this thing, man? What is happening here with my computer? What the fuck is all of this? Yeah. Okay, great, awesome. Now go away. Jesus, man. Let me clean this little area here because I think there's Red Bull in my carpet. What is happening with my... This is Google now. That's what it is. Install this, install that, install this. Even my own computer I don't have control of. I'm sorry to be so miserable, folks. It's just lately I'm just not doing all that great. I really am not. I'm tired of hiding it. I'm tired of pretending. I did nothing for that woman to fucking cheat on me on Valentine's. I didn't ask for all the nonsense that happened last year to happen. I didn't ask for my so-called best friend that lives here to fucking turn his back on me because he listens to what people tell him because he's a gullible prick. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have his driver's license. His son and his wife would probably be dead from a drug dealer that used to live here, but guess who puts himself in the line of fire for everybody? Guess who puts himself in the line of fire for people that don't appreciate anything? Again, I apologize, folks. I'm just... No. All of those upper deck checklist cards are now fucking trash. I can't believe that it just happened to fall right on top of those cards. I can't believe that. It happened to fall right on top of those that whole stack of cards I pulled out the other night. I can't catch a break. catch a break with anything, can I? I'm not a happy man anymore, folks. It's like Groundhog Day. You know what it feels like? You know what that feels like? It's Groundhog Day for me every day. And I know it's going to sound paranoid, but it's like, I wonder who's going to blame me for something else, or who's going to come after me for something else, or who's going to do something stupid while I'm standing there. What will I get blamed for? That's what it feels like. Now I'm going to open up a brand new can of Red Bull because I don't give a damn. I'll be right back. Let me go in my bedroom. I gotta use the bathroom anyways. I'm sorry, folks. Now, let's start this over again. There had to be at least 20 or 30 upper deck cards that are now part of the fucking North Carolina landfill. I can't believe that all that liquid went in that direction there. I will say I never get bored watching this show if it means anything. I don't know how to take that. I mean, this is essentially my life, you know? But the stuff that goes on in my life, I didn't ask for. Even that. Now 20 or 30 cards I could have had graded, that could have came out to a couple $100, maybe even $1,000 or so, now trash. Now trash. Trash. It's just it's just things are getting more and more disappointing for me, you know. When I was younger, things were so much more fun. Then the lies and the deceit and the betrayals happened. And it's like no matter where you go, you run into the same thing again and again and again and again, with people doing the same things again and again. I'm tired of being hurt. Even with those baseball cards, they may have some sort of dollar value to it, and I know I'm complaining about it. But at the end of the day, I really don't give a shit. I don't care how much those cards that just got ruined are worth. They're in the garbage now. And even that, in my heart, I really don't care about, because they don't hold any sentimental value to me. Because quite frankly, I just don't care. I really don't care. I can have all of this nice stuff and all these nice things, and it's just this loneliness I've been feeling lately. I've never experienced anything like it. Like, I've been feeling alone. I'm not sleeping properly. My sleeping pattern is all over the place. And again, I could see it in I'm looking at myself here again on the big screen. I could see it in my face. You know, I've had people here telling me, you look like you lost a lot of weight, and it's because I have. And let me tell you, I've tried to force myself to eat. I've literally force fed myself to eat. I made a big plate or not a big plate, I should say. I made a big pot of penne alla vodka. I ate the whole pot, and it still wasn't enough. And then I made myself a little thing of macaroni and cheese, the Velveeta shells. Ate that whole thing like it was nothing. And I went to go stand on the scale, and I still am 194 pounds. That even after I force feed myself, my weight still won't go up. This is depression, all of this. It's loneliness, it's sadness, and it's depression. What that woman did to me on Valentine's Day just kicked it all off all over again. I thought I could finally, like, yeah, even with the sandwiches. You know, don't forget my diet, and I've talked about this, consists of a lot of turkey and tuna and whole wheat bread. Even eating a big sandwich, it's like I never ate before, to be honest with you. I'll eat like 3 or 4 of them sandwiches a day, and I won't gain weight, because my mind is constantly racing. My mind is constantly thinking. I'm just so sick and tired of certain shit that has gone on in my life. It's finally caught up with me. It all caught up with me, and I've got tired of it. I couldn't be any more tired of certain things. I did nothing to justify being cheated on. I didn't ask for my father to die. I didn't ask for Wolf to die. I didn't ask for this woman to try to have me thrown in jail for no reason because she didn't get what she wanted. I didn't ask to get cheated on. I didn't ask for any of this stuff. It catches up with you after a while. When you have again and again and again and another thing and another thing and another thing and another thing and another thing. Well, I was expecting that. I wanted to check something. I'm looking at my channel dashboard, and I'm seeing that people are unsubscribing. That's fine too. It doesn't bother me anymore. It's just things are not fun for me anymore. I'm trying to make things fun. I'm trying to force myself to have fun. And then it seems that people only care more about being entertained, and all they care about is having a shiny object. shined in front of their face. People only care about being entertained. They couldn't care about when somebody is genuinely hurting, and I am. All of these baseball cards, all these Transformers toys, all the reviews I've done on the channel. It's just lately it has not been fun. And I don't expect people to relate to it, and I don't expect people to understand because they have to be entertained. And I'm probably wasting my time even doing this live stream too, because it falls on deaf ears. The only thing people really care about is their entertainment. That's one of the sad realities about YouTube, you know? I am going through a hell of a lot here, folks. I really am. I'm going through a really, really bad bout of depression. And I've gone through depression many times in my life, but this is something different. This is something completely different. I am very, very, very depressed. I mean, look at the skin hanging off of my neck. That's from the weight loss. This is depression. You know, I'm going to give you a little secret. Why do I drink all these Red Bulls? It's the only thing that makes me feel upbeat. I've noticed I've been drinking more and more and more and more of them. It's the only way I can keep myself energized. You want to know a little secret? There it is. That's why I drink all these Red Bulls like I do. If I don't get caffeine in me in this form, and I don't like the taste of coffee, I feel like I can't even function. Like I can't even concentrate on whatever it is I'm doing here on the channel or with my sports card sales or anything like that. I feel like I'm falling off a cliff. It's the only thing that keeps me feeling energized. Is it an addiction at this point? I don't know. Maybe. It's the only way I can make myself feel on the up and up. That's why I drink so much of this stuff. Even though there's no sugar in it, it's for the caffeine. And I'll drink like 2 or 3 cans, 4 or 5 cans of these like it's nothing. Because I feel so down at times. It's the only thing that can keep me energized, that I can keep making content for the channel. Yeah, I'm looking at my channel dashboard. I guess people don't like what I'm talking about. I got 2 people unsubscribed already, just from this one live stream alone. And I know who it probably is. It's probably Karen and it's probably Jenny. Because they can't admit that they're wrong, the 2 of them. No, but I'm the bad guy, always. Folks, I'm so let down by so much shit in this. I'm so hurt. You know, especially after my dad died and everything. Like that was the biggest blow to everything. And it seems like I just can't get a break from anything. I can't seem to catch a break. I got all these things to keep me busy, but this depression that I've been going through, most of you don't want to hear it because all you want to do is be entertained. Fine, I got it. Understood. Maybe I'm not the YouTube content creator for you. I'm sorry that it's that way. But I am very depressed. I feel alone and I feel depressed. I feel lousy. I feel miserable. I feel hurt. I feel very hurt. I feel isolated. Very hurt. Maybe this isn't for me anymore. You know, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting for things. I'm tired of fighting people. I'm tired of the pointless arguments, the lies, the deceptions. And when I make my content here on the channel, I do everything I can to try to convey an image of happiness, but I'm just not happy, folks. I'm just not happy. And I can see it. Look at my neck. Look at my neck and look at my chin. How sunken in my face is. My friends and neighbors have told me I don't look healthy. Like I look thin, unnaturally. I'm getting to a point where like I never looked this thin before. And it's all depression. It's all because I'm depressed. Well, there's really no point in forcing all of you to watch me just sit here staring at my screen. Karen, you should be ashamed of yourself. Jenny, you should be ashamed of yourself. Esteban, you should be ashamed of yourself. People that used to live it, that I used to call brothers and friends in New York, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I can't even stomach looking at myself on the TV right now. That's how down I feel. But this is a new kind of depression I've never experienced before. I'm wasting my time preaching to the choir here. I'm wasting my time.